Edgy Britpop bands like Pulp, Blur and Oasis dominated the airwaves during the 90s, but tensions between bandmates and the rise of alternative indie bands caused the scene to fade from popularity. But an unlikely trio from the other side of the planet in the small suburbs of Sydney are fighting as hard as they can to rekindle that moment in time.
Well, welcome back to another episode of Who the F***, the show that aims to take a deep dive in some of the acts performing across festival season in 2022. In today's episode, we're tackling a big one. A lot of people want to see this video. We're talking about the DMA'S. The DMA'S? Just DMA'S, but they belong to someone because it's an apostrophe. If you've never heard of them before, hopefully this video will help answer the question. Who the f*** are DMA'S? Tommy O'Dell, Matt Mason and Johnny Took are the three members that make up DMA'S. They're from Sydney in New South Wales, just down the road. Genre-wise, they're described as indie rock, alternative rock, Britpop revival, alternative, even dance. I wouldn't go that far, they're more electronic, but you know, people like to categorise stupid shit. They remind me of like the best of the Britpop bands from the 90s. Blur, Pulp, The Stone Roses, Oasis. Those guys, they're all massive influences on DMA'S. The three started playing music together for a couple of years before forming the band. They released their first single as DMA'S in 2014, a little song of theirs which is now double platinum called Delete. This was then followed up with their self-titled EP, DMA'S, in March 2014, which surprisingly didn't feature Delete, but did feature standout tracks Feels Like 37. And the song So We Know. Now I know what life's about, now you're gone. Both of these records would later go on to feature on the band's debut LP and is like a live staple of theirs. They followed this up with the single Lay Down, a future staple of their live sets and the first official single taken from their debut album Run. Lay down, give me someone new. In January and February of 2016, they followed up with the singles Too Soon. Take me to all your secrets. And In the Moment. Before releasing their debut album Hill's End in February 2016, it was released to largely positive reviews, gaining a score of 71 on Metacritic. The album featured all previous singles, as well as the standout Set Up the Morphine. In October 2016, they released a video for their acoustic in-studio cover of Cher's Believe. It was recorded for Triple J and has racked up more than 11 million views to date. Do you believe in life after love? It was also featured in the Hottest 100 chart of 2017, making it all the way to number 6, and became the first Like a Virgin cover to ever rank this high in the Hottest 100, until obviously this year when the Wiggles kind of just ruined that for them, didn't they? For reference, the top 5 records for that year were Redbone by Childish Gambino, 1955 by Hilltop Hoods, Jungle by Tash Sultana, Adore by Amy Shark, and Never Be Like You by Flume. And if you don't know any of those records, then go and do yourself a favour. They finished out 2017 by releasing a corker that is Dawning. First single which would go on to be taken from their Sophomore album. In early 2018, they released the single In the Air and For Now. Who's been dreaming what I'm so in? No, I won't be anymore. No, we won't be anymore. No. With the former going gold in Australia, For Now would also get a remix treatment by Confidence Man, an artist that's big enough to be put on the Glasgow poster for this year. Don't know if I'm going to get time to do a WTF episode though. Sorry. In April 2018, they released their follow-up album For Now. The album would feature the 3 previous singles, as well as album highlights Break Me. Why would you break me? Would you break Time and Money. Stop me. Tape Deck Sick. 2018 would also see The End getting a remix by legendary Channel Trez, which is definitely getting added to my driving at night playlist. 2019 was a lot of touring for the boys. The band supported Liam Gallagher on his UK and Ireland tour, also supported other British rock and Britpop icons like Richard Ashcroft, Kasabian and The Kooks. And in October, released the first single taken from their third album, the massive Silver. They started 2020 by releasing a small song called Life is a Game of Changing. A record that is now absolutely a staple of their live sets. It was also remixed by the legendary Orbital. In March 2020, they played their largest headline show at Brixton Academy in London. I was there March the 6th. That was like one of the last gigs that we went to, that we were allowed to. It was bloody absolute chaos. So many bucket hats and flares. Supported by the WTF inductees, Everyone You Know, which is about as dark fruit as it gets. In early July, they would release records Criminals, another popular record they play live. The single was remixed by fellow Australian legends, the Avalanches, who are also playing Glastonbury, and there is a WTF episode incoming for them. Later that week, they released their third studio album, The Glow. The artwork features an adaptation of the Bin Chicken illustration taken from their debut EP, and was produced by legendary Stuart Price, known for working with people like The Killers, Madonna, Dua Lipa, loads. It features the 3 previous singles, as well as the album's title track, The Glow. There's nothing moving faster than the only thing you know. And popular live numbers never before. Hello, Girlfriend. Such a funny thing for me to explain. Cobra Kane. And Appointment. In August 2021, they surprise released an EP titled I Love You Unconditionally, Sure I'm Going to Miss You. They were quoted saying, "This EP is the natural trajectory that you can sometimes take a band. You work with different producers and you want to keep changing, but there's also something in your core that pulls you back. It's cool to go back to your roots sometime." The lead single, We Are Midnight, was released on the same day. We've been wasting away. They then released an alternative version of Junk Truck Headfuck, now featuring May-A, an artist that also recently featured on Flume's latest record. If you've made it this far, I really appreciate you. Thank you so much. I really, really love a little like and then a little share. That makes all the difference. Like, share it to your mates. And I'd love to know your thoughts in the comment section below. As always, I reply to every single one of you, unless you're rude, in which case I'll delete you. Don't delete me, baby. Right, I'm now rambling. Their most popular record is, of course, their cover of Believe, currently sat on 33 million streams on Spotify. But of their records, music they've made themselves, is, of course, Delete, sat on 24 million streams. This is their third time playing Reading Leeds? Fourth time playing Reading Leeds. The first time was on the Festival Public stage in 2015 with support from Ratboy, Blossoms, Ash, Lucy Rose and Wombats. This is why we go to the festival. This is why it's important to have a Festival Public stage, guys. Just look at that. They then played again in 2016 on the Festival Public stage with support from Ezra Furman, E-Girls, Third Eye Blind and fellow Aussies, The Temper Trap. Are they Aussies or are they Kiwis? Anyway, they're south of the equator. The last time they played was in 2018. This time on the penultimate iteration of the Radio 1 stage with Let's Eat Grandma, Wilkinson, Lil Pump, Don Brocco, Slaves and Diplo. And then this year, they're back again on the main stage west, Sunday Reading, Friday Leeds, supporting Halsey and Bastille with support from Brucey and Bad Boy Chiller Crew. As a day, I don't think you can get any more dark fruits than that. Bad Boy Chiller Crew, Brucey and DMA'S. Mental. all. That's like the whole day is just not me. Sods guys, it just ain't. Hey, I've seen them 3 or 4 times. I think that they have done a really great job of like capturing that whole Britpop sound, and they're clearly a fan favourite. Like when we were talking to people about their lineup this year and who they wanted to see, DMA'S were like really high up there. Being Australian, obviously I'm a big fan. I think I've seen them play 4 times, maybe 3 times. I don't really understand the hype, but a lot of people love them, so who the f*** am I to decide whether they're good or bad? Will I go see them? Depends who's clashing with them. If there's a clash, probably not, because like they're not up there for me, but I still think they're bloody great. Like, they're still great, don't get me wrong. What do you think? Have you seen them perform before? Are you excited to see them play at this year's festival? I would love to know your thoughts. Thank you so much for watching this far, I really appreciate it. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below, and I will see you in the next one. Cheers, bye.